Hello everyone! Today we're looking at the 4 new farms that are available with the Stardew Valley 1.1 update. Up first is the Riverlands farm. As you can see here, the house is already different. It has kind of a rustic cabin type feeling, but judging by the windows, I think it's supposed to look like the interior of a boat. Very different look already. Let's see the farm. So already it has a much different feel than the original farm layout. Obviously we are surrounded by water. We're seeing less farming space available. This would be the cave. That's nothing changed. I believe all farm maps have the cave. It just is in a different location or looks different. Up there is Grandpa's shrine. Lots of area to fish. I believe the advantage of this farm is that there are more fish available, or at least they are more common. I would imagine you can catch a multitude of different fish, otherwise there would be no point in having all this water space. So making our way down to the bottom here is just another little area for farming. And over here is another piece of land that will connect us to the south exit that takes you towards Marnie's ranch and that area of the map. That would be down below me. A map like this would be really useful for me. As I've demonstrated before, the fishing can be very valuable in the early game, and if you could do it pretty much from your doorstep, you could make a lot of money very quickly. Here's a nice little dock. We have some of the deeper water out to the right there. Obviously you'll have to upgrade your fishing skill to hit that, or use the glitch to walk out there, if that's still doable in this version of the game. And then it just completes a circle right back to our house. I would assume that the different areas of water have different fish in them, but I have yet to test that, but that would be a fair assumption at this point. Next we have the forest farm, as you might have guessed by the decoration of the inside of your house. Lots of greenery. Moving out into our farm, so far it's a very similar layout to the original, but as we move to our left, and I trample through my weeds, we find the cave in pretty much the same spot and the northern exit is gone, but this is where it gets different. Over here we have kind of a secret forest type area. I believe you can pass through right here and then up to Grandpa's shrine. That is nothing too outrageous, but it's a little bit different, so that's a nice change. And down here we have some hardwood, which is something you couldn't normally have unless you had access to the secret woods. And that gives your farm a bit of a different look and feel. I'm sure you could plant some trees and stuff amongst the grass here, or some buildings, or whatever you want. Moving downwards, we have more of the hardwood. Now coming over this way, obviously we have a big giant pond in the middle of our farm, as well as a few other ponds that aren't there on the original map. These obviously take up a lot of farming space. I'm not sure, you could probably catch some different fish in those. The south exit is in its pretty much usual spot, it just looks a little bit different. There's a little hidey hole in the bottom right. You could probably reach that with a little bit of effort. So this farm obviously is not necessarily the greatest for planting crops because you just don't have the normal space you would, but it is geared more towards stuff you gather from the forest. I think forageable goods probably spawn in the spots on the western side of your farm. Kind of a cool idea. I do like this one. This farm is known as the Hilltop farm, and it is geared more towards mining than farming. As you can see, it's quite a different layout right away. We'll head to the left here, take a look. Obviously there's different levels. That ledge actually takes up a lot of room for farming. Here we have the cave, the greenhouse, all in its usual spot. A river flows through the west side of the farm. Once again, I'm sure there's some good fishing to be had in there. And we'll head this way. That's just a nice corner that leads up to Grandpa's shrine up there. And as you can see below me, we have an opportunity for mining right in our very own field. Unfortunately, I am currently blocked by a large piece of wood, so we'll have to take the long way. Working our way this way, we have another little elevated area. Kind of a waste of farming space, but you can still get some crops above and below that. And we are blocked by a large rock on this end, so we will go this way. So the area up there obviously is the main attraction for this layout, because you have the mining resources right at your doorstep. No more running to the mine and running around, because you'll have stuff spawning right here for you. The bottom left of the field also has another little pond, And here already we have access to some copper ore, and these are actually geodes if I'm not mistaken. So if you hammer these out, yes, there's a geode. And these, of course, if you take to the blacksmith, are full of different things, anywhere from valuable to useless. So you have a steady stream of these coming in every day. I'm not sure yet how many spawn, but I think this is probably going to be the first map I do actually play, so I will look into this further. I really like this farm. All that mining stuff is so useful in the early game. You can build a lot of cool stuff and really jumpstart your progress. And lastly, we have what is known as a wilderness farm. Right away it's got kind of a creepy Halloween type vibe to it. And the whole idea of this farm is that at night monsters overrun your farm and you can fight them and get the items you get from killing them and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they can actually damage your farm. Hopefully not, because that would be annoying. This farm does not actually interest me that much because I don't really like the combat in this game. I just find it kind of an annoying inconvenience for you as you're trying to farm and live the simple life. As you can see, it's quite a similar layout so far to the original farm, with the exception of this little outcrop thing that juts inwards. I believe the big pond there is the same one as usual. In the bottom left, however, it's a little bit different. There is obviously water down there, a little bit of room for farming. Coming down this way, there actually seems to be quite a bit of room for crops and usable land in this layout. If it wasn't for the monsters, I'd be tempted to use this one. I still will at some point, I'm sure, but it won't be my first choice. The right side has a different look to it. It's a shame you can't use all that for farming space. This is really a simple layout. It's just a big area surrounding a pond. In the original layout, your only source of water was kind of in the lower middle and off to the right, so if you're trying to water crops up in the upper left or left side even, you would have to run all the way across your field and back, and that ate up a lot of valuable time. Now that it's 7:30, we're already starting to see the monsters come out. Already we are being chased by a bat, so that would be very annoying if you're trying to water your crops or do anything at all, really. And until you have a sword or any kind of weapon, it takes a long time to deal with any of these monsters. So far, in the early game at least, I seem to just have bats appearing. I'm sure as you get later on, more stronger enemies will appear to annoy you. So far, all I'm seeing are bats. They are still very annoying. They're not very strong, but I would drive myself absolutely crazy trying to tend this field while being chased by bats. Anyways, that concludes this video. Just wanted to do a quick description of all the new farm layouts and some of their features. Obviously there's a little more to them, but we will discover those as time goes on. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.